God must sustain our physical life to enable our spiritual life with Him. Jehovah God is the infinite celestial epics, the God of space, the God beyond time, the God of all eternity, the God who is infinitely holy, and He is the holy God of the universe, who upholds all the whirling worlds and spinning stars in the palm of His hand. And He is the same God that through His loving care personally provides for us so that all of our physical needs are met. God, the infinite creator of the universe, is concerned that I have a meal to eat, that I have clothes to wear, that I have a place to rest my head. It thrills my soul that our infinite, eternal God has come to earth in terms of His caring love and is concerned with the most basic needs of my life in a physical way. That term bread encompasses all of physical areas of life. Martin Luther, the great reformer, who nailed his 95 Theses to the door of the Wittenberg Church back in the 16th century, had it right when he said, "Everything necessary for the preservation of the life is bread, including food, a healthy body, good weather, house, home, wife, husband, children, good government, and peace." He saw all physical elements of life wrapped up in that basic term, bread. He saw the necessities, not the luxuries of life. Based on this verse alone, we are not empowered to ask God for the luxuries of life, only for the necessities. What God chooses to give us is given out of His gracious hand, but He promises to provide all the necessities of life. If you look in the book of Proverbs, Proverbs 30, chapter 30, verse 8 and 9, I'll read today. "Remove falsehoods and lies far from me. Give me neither poverty nor riches. Feed me with the food allotted to me, lest I be full and deny you and say, 'Who is the Lord?' Or lest I be poor and steal and profane the name of my God." Lord, don't give me so much that I forget you. Don't give me so little that I steal to dishonor your name. Give me just enough to sustain me. This is the very heart of this petition. It is not seeking, give me more and more and more and more. No, it is simply saying, Lord, just for what I need, the necessities of life. You may say, "Pastor Allen, in my life, we don't have need. We don't need to pray like this." Oh, yes, we do. The essence of this petition, while not the desperate cry of one who is starving, is an affirmation that all of our substance comes from God, an affirmation of our total dependency upon Him. God, I want you to know, I want to let you know that you alone are the source of my life, my food, my clothing, everything, God, comes from you. This petition is constant, and it's a consistent affirmation of the provisions of God. It is like asking God to forgive my sin and cleanse my life from some evil deed or wrongdoing. Why do I ask God to do that? Hasn't He already forgiven me? Yes, but He also says keep on confessing. God says He will forgive, but the act of asking for forgiveness affirms His faithfulness found in His forgiveness. It is like asking God to lead and guide me in certain areas of my life. The Bible says He will lead and guide, but I am affirming His leadership through my prayer, asking Him to lead and guide me. By asking for His leadership, I recognize and I affirm that God is the leader of my life. Sometime when we cry out, Lord, hear my prayers, Lord, hear them and answer them. Why do we do that? Why do we include that in our prayers? We know that He hears our prayers and He always will, but He wants us to affirm that confidence because that exalts His name and glorifies God. And that is the purpose of all prayer. I may not have to say, oh God, I don't have any food. Where is it going to come from? And I should be ever thankful for God for providing that basic provision of life to sustain me. God, everything I have comes from you, and I share with those that I love, and it comes from your good and gracious hand. This petition affirms God as the source of everything. God cares about every single one of us and all of our physical needs. And that term bread represents the most basic staple of life. Here in America, the land of the plenty, we may never be on the edge of hunger, but we are always to be thankful for God's great provision for all of our physical needs. Food, clothing, shelter, all the basic needs of life, God, through His gracious hand, provides. He is the source of everything, the provider of all our human needs. And in our daily prayers, He desires, His heart's desire is for our continual affirmation of our ultimate dependence upon Him. Give us this day our daily